Channel, Brenda Hoffman. Dear ones, verifying that all is well in your world is difficult because pain surrounds you. Even though most of you have tapped into joyful pieces, you often feel guilty doing so, as if you have done something wrong by laughing or displaying peace of mind. 3D woes continue to chip away at your joy. You have fun until a loved one tells you about their physical or emotional pain, something you believe you cannot deny or ignore. So your joy feels like a half step forward and 2 steps back. You wonder how you can separate yourself from the pain or fears of those you love. Even though they are transitioning beyond 3D, they are in great fear, as was true for you during similar phases of your transition. You likely feel you must walk beside them in their fear. But you stop being a beacon of love or possibilities when you do. The question then becomes, what should I do if a loved one is in pain and I am not? You have 2 choices, neither of which will likely make sense for a while. Option 1 is to feel their pain with them. Option 2 is to ignore or merely acknowledge their pain and continue living joyfully. Select your actions through your inner voice. Do you pity your loved one? Do you make your loved one's pain your own? Or do you ignore or acknowledge their pain and then continue finding your joy? Even though there is no right action for you or anyone now, there are consequences for each action path. If you pity your loved one, they might continue their pain mode because it generates love from you. And if you claim your loved one's pain as your own, you will stop your forward movement. But if you ignore or acknowledge their pain and then move on, you will access the joy that helps both of you via the resources and joy you generate. The obvious question is, what if I lose this person because I do not accept their pain? You might. But then, if joy is in one arena and continuing pain is in the other, which would you choose? Those in their dark night of the soul or climbing some of the mountains of pain most of you experienced want to grasp onto anyone or anything that eases their pain. And because they are not yet fully of the universes, they will first grasp onto the person who has taken care of them emotionally. It is only when you pull back from the emotional caretaking of others that they will progress into their new being. This is an extremely difficult time for humanity. Those wishing to progress are being called back to 3D to help others. But you do not have the skills to pull anyone through their pain. You merely have the energy and skills to become new you. Because you are forerunners, the wails of those moving beyond 3D or firmly in 3D are louder than they ever will be again. Millions have opened themselves up to their new beings. But those millions are in various stages of completion, including you. The work required for those following you to reach the point you are at now seems overwhelming to them, just as was true for you. The difference is you knew no one of the earth could help you achieve what you needed. Of course, there were physics, healers, channelers, angels, universal guides, and others who helped you along the way. That is until you realized you were the only one who could access the information you required. Those now clamoring for your help have yet to discover the resources you used, including their universal guides and angels. You do not have the energy or skills to play the role of universal guide. Of course, that last thought is upsetting. Even though you want to help your loved one feel better, it seems that they require more of you every time you do. You do not have the energy to do so now, and probably not for many months. You have the skills to become new you, and so does your loved one. Propping them up from one drama to the next will not help you or them. This is the point where we of the universes step in to provide the answers and directions your loved one needs. But what are you to say to your loved one as you distance yourself from their fears and angst? For instance, your loved one might say, "My back hurts, I need more money," or "I'm so alone." Acknowledge their pain and continue to love them, but then encourage them into an action mode instead of doing it for them. Your loved one will never walk into their new life if you carry them. Doing so will only be a burden for you and a non-learning experience for them. Let them go with love by providing resources that do not include your personal resources. As a caretaker, you stop them from walking or even crawling. At the same time, your progression stops, resulting in stunted growth for you both. We of the universes did not live your life for you while you were in the dark night of the soul, we merely provided love and resources. So it is for you now. Provide your loved one with resources instead of yourself. So be it. Amen.